Hi students, and welcome to Play, Authentic Assessment, and Special Needs. Play and assessment. Observing children in play allows for educators to see how children use their skills and learning approaches to construct knowledge. Daily routine engagement with teachers, peers, and the environment across multiple contexts and in various ways. Teachers facilitate play, ask open-ended questions, allow for experimentation, provide hands-on and active engagement. Finally, allows educators to be sensitive to all groups, cultural difference, individual differences, and children with disabilities. Types of assessment: formative. Assessment that is task-oriented can be formal or informal and identifies strengths and weaknesses and establishes goals. Summative assessment, testing after a period of exposure to concepts to be learned. And authentic assessment, gathering data from authentic and practical engagement in learning considered most appropriate for early childhood. So authentic assessment determines how children use that everyday experience, whether real life or everyday learning activities, to make application of knowledge. And what this means is educators must assess meaningful learning experiences that can be observed through routines that demonstrate what the child knows and their approach to learning. An example of authentic assessment: an educator, for example, could observe a child during meals and how the child classifies graphs or counts objects. Reasons for authentic assessment is best suited for early childhood classrooms. Teachers' interactions are both overt and covert, non-intrusive and non-intimidating, shows child's strengths and weaknesses and learning style, and helps the educator to inform the curriculum more specifically. Considerations for assessment to identify children with special needs. Educators should expect a broad range of skills, abilities, and be very tolerant. Referrals should not be made when both teachers, only be made when both teachers and parents have observations and have concerns. Clinicians should have special training in both diagnostic assessments and child development. Special needs assessment considerations continued. Evaluation environment to ensure it is not teachers' poor instruction. Multiple context: home, school, especially for special populations, low income, cultural, and language. Assessment should be in-depth, appropriate, and guided with appropriate supports. Dwindling support resources are not a reason to refer a child. Avoid readiness tests as they are often biased. Key principles in assessment to remember: testing should only be done if it leads to beneficial results. Developmentally appropriate, especially with language use and matched to the individual. Features of assessment: content, form, evidence of validity, and standards for interpretation must be tailored to the specific purposes of an assessment. Identifying children for special education is a legitimate purpose for assessment, but should not be generalized to a larger population of average learners. Content should embody important dimensions of early learning and development. The tasks and skills children are asked to perform should reflect and model progress towards important learning goals. A closing thought: dumbing down curriculum should be unacceptable practice as it undermines intelligence. School robs far too many of them of the ability to feel, touch, embrace the world with energy, imagination, and ferocious appetite. Clifford Friesen and Hardeen. Thank you for joining me in my presentation.